Yeah, for me it's nice because I was here last year, so I was able to build like a relationship with majority of the guys. There are some newcomers. I know a couple of them already, but it's nice because I have already kind of like established myself, built relationships with everyone, and then obviously I got hurt unfortunately, but the relationships and everything were kind of already in place before I got hurt. But for me, it's just remaining, a part of the team any way I can be, just being around the guys, talking to the guys. I'm not traveling with the team right now, but yeah, just being a part of the team in that way. I personally, no, I didn't feel it, but obviously I saw and heard, the rumors and kind of everything you said. I didn't feel it because, and a lot of people ask me this and I kind of say the same thing, but if you know me personally as like a person and a basketball player, you kind of know what I can do and what I'm capable of. I think for me it was just the situation. A lot of my close friends and just like in the basketball world, a lot of people who kind of have seen my game and what I'm doing explode, they're not really surprised because, like I said again, it really depends on the situation and the role and just kind of where you are and at what point in time of your career. Like when I first came into the EuroLeague from the NBA, we won the EuroLeague with CSKA Moscow, but my role was different. My minutes were there some nights they weren't. Sometimes I played, sometimes I didn't, and I understood that. But at the same time, I still was able to do some of the stuff I do now. It was again just the situation, right? We had a fully loaded team, Kyle Hines, Othello Hunter, and a whole bunch of other guys, right? So as you can see there, it's hard to get minutes. And immediately when I started my career off with CSKA, year over year, my role increased, and I was still doing what I'm doing now. It's just, I guess my minutes weren't there, so people didn't really get to see it as much now. But yeah, the main thing was, walking into a situation where it just kind of worked out. Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps when you're wanted, and it goes both ways. I wanted to stay here, and the team wanted me to stay here, so it worked out well. On top of that, I was playing good, playing really good. But for me, when I really looked at it, because even though it was like the middle of the season, I think we were maybe 4 or 5 months into the season when I officially signed my extension. For me, I think that was my last year because I signed a 1-year deal. So, even when I was playing really well, there was a lot of teams reaching out, showing interest, already trying to potentially set something up, even though the season wasn't over. But again, for me, it was, when I really thought about it, it was like, okay, I'm here. I like our head coach. I like the coaching staff. I like the management, the city, the basketball players, my teammates, and everything about the situation. If I ultimately decide to leave, then I have to go to, who knows, where am I going? And even if I go to another good team, it's like different coaching, different system, different offense, different teammates, and just the uncertainty of that. What I knew was I was playing well here. I wanted to stay here, and they wanted me to stay. So decided to stay. And yeah, so they both like it, my wife and son. My son's picking up a little bit of Serbian here and there. He is. So it's funny. He jokes around from time to time. Like, we'll ask him a question and he'll respond back to us in Serbian, and we have no clue what he's saying. So he'll joke around with us there. But no, I mean, they like the city. They both like the city. My son loves his school. My wife is familiar with the city now. Last year, everything was a little bit new for her. It took her a while to get adjusted, but I think going into this year and coming back this year for year number 2, she is familiar with the city. She's made a couple friends here and there, and she likes it. Yeah, definitely. I think the chemistry is a big part. When you mention chemistry, there's a lot of aspects of it. There's, like you said, there's the captain. And then sometimes you guys have that are just naturally a leader. You know, you can show leadership by your voice, how you get along with guys, how you can talk to guys and convince guys and get the best out of them. You can also show leadership by your work ethic, but you may not be as vocal. So we have a little bit of everything between the three guys you mentioned, so it works out good. Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time with each other between practices, you know, the games and the travel, road trips, hotels, but we find time to, you know, get away, have like a dinner here and there, and just enjoy our off time outside of basketball. Iago, I would say, if I'm having to pick like one of the funniest guys on the team, I would say it's Isaiah Cannon. We call him Sip. He goes by Sip to us. So Sip, he's one of the funniest guys. You know, just always not always messing around, but he just joking, kind of laid back personality, good sense of humor. But no, Iago, he's pretty cool as well. Lots of energy. Has a lot of energy to him. Yeah, I mean, like even me, I didn't have the start I wanted to in the domestic league, and I found rhythm. And for him, you know, we'll find rhythm as time goes. You know, him including myself, we work really hard, so it was only right that it came and he found rhythm. But no, he's playing really well right now. I think for me and him, we just kind of have a natural connection from when we played at Olympiacos. So it's always cool and nice to have, like, I guess one of your friends join your team that you've been friends with for a while. Because even when I left Olympiacos, you know, him and I would still keep in touch here and there. So yeah, I'm excited that he's found his groove and he's playing much better. And he puts in the work. He really does put in the work. So I'm not surprised at all. I would say he's one of my favorite coaches. He's, I would describe him as like a player's coach. He takes the time to really understand his players. And he doesn't treat every player the same. He understands people's personalities, and he knows how to talk to players. But at the same time, he's demanding, and he's able to get the best out of each player that's on the team. So I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's really good. He's a really good fit for us. And as you see, going into this year, again, we're taking it game by game. But you know, compared to last year, where he kind of came into, I don't know what the word is, but he kind of came into the situation, and he wasn't really able to, you know, make too many changes. He kind of just had to work with what was there. And then after that, going into the summer, you know, I think he was able to have a voice and, hey, I would like this player to come. I would like to have this player. And yeah, kind of build and structure the team kind of on how he thinks we can be successful. So yeah, we're playing well. And the good thing is we have a lot of room for improvement, right? And ultimately, when I come back, I'll help the team out even more. So yeah, I think, you know, we're in a good spot. Yeah, that relationship definitely helps, but I think he's truly able to understand, like, personalities. He's able to push everyone, but at the same time, you're not going to treat Milos the same way you treat our young guy Andre, right? Just he's able to see that, whereas some coaches, you know, it's like do it my way or where there's a problem, but he's able to, like, really understand the team, everyone's personalities, and he's able to juggle, you know, the players' roles, how we fit together, and he's able to balance that out. Yeah, I know, based on the discussions I had with him, he was kind of thinking about retiring. He was considering it. But ultimately, like you said, that really long relationship, coach convinced him to stay. And I'm sure some of the players had an influence on that as well. But it's like anything, he has that competitive nature. He has that competitive spirit. So if he's playing, he's going to play 100%. He plays with passion and he shows his emotion. Yeah, he's playing really well. Especially last game, he had a phenomenal game. He's been able to come in and have an impact immediately. He's helped out the team tremendously. He brings like a, I guess, dynamic and kind of skill set that we didn't really have before. But no, I'm looking forward to playing with him, and he can also play, the forward position. So who knows, maybe we'll be playing at the same time when I'm back. But no, it's nice that he's able to come in here. Obviously, he knows a lot of the guys, so it helps. And he didn't have like that long of an adjustment period. Just because he knows the guys here, he's familiar with them, he has friends here. And it was a much easier transition for him. And it's always easy when you kind of go into a situation where you're going to play, and the way things are, he knew he was going to play, and obviously he's a good player, and he's having a lot of success. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a real estate genius. I am a part of businesses, real estate, like you mentioned, but no, my primary focus and my job is basketball. All the other stuff that I do outside of the court is kind of just extra in what I do in my free and spare time. So I'm able to kind of schedule things out, believe it or not, with the time zone change. Usually when it's kind of evening time here and getting later in the day here, it's kind of like mid-morning, noon in America. So the time zone change is not really that big of a difference, but I have really good partners and incredible team, working with me and just helping me build out all these other things outside of the basketball. I wouldn't say so. I would say, like I said, obviously my primary focus is 100% basketball. All the other stuff's kind of extra. And I have, like here with Zvezde, we're a team. We have 15, 18, how many ever players we do. It's the same thing in the stuff I'm doing with the business. I have a team. There's guys on board that have their roles, and kind of we know what we expect out of each other, and we just work well together. So I'm able to juggle the two pretty good. And like I said, at the end of the day, you take the business stuff away. I'm a basketball player, and I'm here, and basketball is my 100% focus. No, so for me, it kind of started when I was in the NBA. Just the way the dominoes fell, I had some successful friends that weren't basketball players, and I got interested to see what they did and how they built up their success and what they did for a living. And a lot of them were, real estate investors and business owners. And as time went on, I spent more time with them, and I asked them, hey, can you teach me this and show me how you did this and that? And we just built relationships up, and they were able to kind of show me what they did, how they did it, the mistakes they did. And I just learned, kind of been doing the business stuff from 2016 or so, and, just built up a lot of relationships. Relationships really help. Maybe eventually, like when I'm done playing, I think I could, I don't know if the word is educate, but I can just share my story and just share kind of what I've been able to do outside of basketball. And I think some guys would want to hear that. A lot of people struggle with transitioning out of basketball into what's next. And I've kind of I'm fortunate enough to be able to figure out or just have an idea of something I can at least do when I'm done playing basketball. So whatever, that looks like, I don't know, but I mean, we'll just see how it progresses and what it turns into. I mean, as far as advice, I would say I would go back to having, having a good team, having good people around you that are trying to do the same thing, whether it's basketball or business or real estate, like whatever you're trying to accomplish. Surround yourself with people who are experts or like really good in that industry. Set goals, and ultimately whatever you want to do, it's attainable if you have the right relationships, and if you're able to put together a plan of how you want to accomplish that, you should be able to do it. It'll just come down to like how long will it take you, Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe. I think by the nature of it, yes. But I think, as a basketball player, it'll happen naturally. Your time, whenever you're done playing, will happen, and then you'll just have to figure out, what am I going to do after I'm done playing basketball? Some guys figure it out right after they're done. Some guys already know what they want to do when they're done playing basketball. Some guys, take years and years, or, some guys struggle. So, I mean, I think for me, it just kind of happened. And yeah, I would say if people hear my story, maybe it's like, that's really good. I've never thought about that, especially as guys get older, maybe they hear, this interview or see this interview, and they're like, I've never thought about what I'm going to do after basketball, or whatever it may be. Biggest achievements, I'm not sure, honestly. I'm trying to think. I would say most of my biggest achievements, are basketball related. Just the success I've had in basketball. A lot of people don't really understand what goes into being a basketball player. Especially being an overseas basketball player, when I primarily spend majority of my time in the off season in America. A lot of people, and growing up in the States, a lot of people just think like, oh, you're playing in Europe and overseas, and you may be playing in Greece or Italy, or like a country that sounds like, oh wow, you're playing over there. They think it's kind of like a vacation. They don't understand that it's a full-time job. Every single day, we're putting our bodies on the line. We're literally practicing every single day. The travel, the hotels, the time away from your family. I think they don't realize that. So I would say, my biggest achievements is, being a basketball player, at one of the highest levels, and obviously being able to have individual success, being able to win a championship when I was with Cska, and yeah, like literally, I would say my basketball.